But if I do offend you, then I hope it stings like a million little bees stinging you in the same spot. And a little bit of it. Now am I doing 2 times as fast in the French accent? This is fucking incredible. Is anybody seeing this? But the problem is you probably already tuned away. You're not even in the video anymore, and I'm just doing this for myself. Crumbs. What's going on, trending trenders? It's me, Benjaja, and you are you. Welcome to Trending Trends Trend, the only show that I do that you're at, where we go into YouTube every day before everybody else to find out what's trending. Today is no different. We have found that Babish Culinary Universe was posted less than 24 minutes ago, so we got the last minute Thanksgiving basics with Babish right here in front of us, and we're gonna trend it out together. I'm gonna do a fast episode. We're gonna go quick. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna do my best to be quiet. You're gonna be there. We're gonna hang out. I think it'll be fun. We might laugh. I don't know. If we cry, then we've achieved something that I never thought would be possible. Happy tears. Actually, happy tears are great. Thank you for being you and coming to this show and clicking on this video. You didn't have to do it, but you did. If you can go ahead and take it one step further, like, comment, subscribe to this channel. If you feel like I suck, let me know. If you feel like I'm great, also let me know. Both things are true, and I'm happy to know about them. So thank you for letting me know. Okay, here we go. Let's just watch the video. Little last thing about me, I'm a comedian, okay? So I make fun of things, and it's all in fun, and it's all in jest, and I tend to be quite positive, so try not to get too bent out of shape if I offend you. But if I do offend you, then I hope it stings like a million little bees stinging you in the same spot. All right, here we go. Last minute Thanksgiving basics with Babish. Bitches.
Episode of Basics is sponsored by YouTube Movies and Shows. YouTube Movies and Shows is your go-to place to rent or buy the latest films, from comedies to thrillers and anything in between. You can watch directly on all devices where you already watch YouTube. It's seamless. Check it out now at youtube.com/movies.
Okay, while the music is going on and he's clearly cooking, he's done. Okay.
Alright, so I'm going to start the episode off by shooting myself in the foot and suggesting that you make a chicken instead of a turkey. If you're feeding 1 to 4 people, this is going to be a much more time and budget-friendly option. If you're starting today, the day before Thanksgiving, we're going to start by dry brining our chicken. In other words, we're just going to lightly coat it with kosher salt and freshly ground pepper. Then letting it rest uncovered in the fridge overnight is not only going to deeply flavor it, it's going to help dry out the skin, which is going to make it crispier. Then if you're willing to get your hands dirty, figuratively speaking, if you're wearing gloves, you can run your fingers between the skin and the meat, separating them. This is both an opportunity to get some salt and pepper directly on the meat, and also separating the skin helps it crisp up even better. It's why Peking duck is so crispy. They inflate it like a balloon, and then hang it in the fridge for several days so the skin can dry out. But even overnight or just a few hours will make a huge difference. Another thing we want to ready up before anything else is our stock. If you're like most of us and you don't feel like making your own stock from scratch, you could amp up your store-bought stuff quite easily. We're just going to deeply brown a quartered onion along with the chicken neck if yours came with one, a little bit of neutral flavored oil like vegetable for a few minutes until it's got some nice color. Then we're going to add the core and leaves of a head of celery, the stuff that you normally throw away, 2 ugliest carrots you got cut into 2-inch pieces, some fresh sage and thyme if you got it, and then we're going to add a quart of store-bought turkey stock. This is going to help bring back some of those Thanksgiving flavors that we're missing with the chicken. I'm also going to add a tablespoon of whole pepper.
All right, I'm pausing just right now because let's just do this thing faster, right? It's going a little slow. He's really funny. I really like it. I just want to see it. We got to get in and out. I got somewhere to be, I think. But why don't we just do this faster? So I think we can make it go 2 times as fast. Yeah, let's do 2 times as fast. That'll save us a whole lot of time. Let's go.
And 2 dried bay leaves. Bring this guy up to a nice suggested simmer and keep him there uncovered until he's reduced by half. It's going to leave us with a nice, concentrated, flavorful stock that's going to be perfect for our gravy. Strain out the solids, let it cool, cover in plastic wrap and refrigerate until ready to use. Trust me, this step is worth doing. Another dish that is super easy to make and really worth making from scratch is cranberry sauce. Get yourself back cranberries and dump it into your widest and deepest saucepan. Then all you really need to add is a whole lot of sugar, about 1 cup or 5 ounces per 12 ounces of cranberries. Plus some very welcome additions, maybe a couple tablespoons of Grand Marnier, the peel and juice of 1 large orange, maybe a little knob of fresh ginger, and a cinnamon stick. Then we're setting this over medium high heat and bringing the whole affair to a rolling simmer. Reducing the heat to low to maintain said simmer, stirring occasionally, and cooking for 15 to 20 minutes until an almost cranberry sauce-like consistency is achieved. Then we're picking out our edibles, tasting for seasoning, and adjusting as necessary with water, sugar, salt, being sure to bring it back to a simmer if you add any sugar, and cooking until you have the cranberry sauce of your drink. So let this cool, cover it, put it in the fridge for up to 2 weeks. Next up, being no.
Okay, I've never done cranberry sauce before. Just to give you a little review, if you didn't understand anything he said, because I barely did, but what I saw is he put cranberries in a pan. He got some Grand Marnier. He threw that in there with some orange peels, a cinnamon stick, some sugar, some salt, and he put that fire on, and now we've got cranberry sauce. Voila, let's keep going.
No fuss, apple pie. Or more accurately, an apple pie, apple crisp, apple tart hybrid, uncalled, and apple crisp tart. In a large bowl, we are combining 10 ounces of flour, 4 ounces of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of kosher salt to tie whisking until homogeneous. And then we're adding 15 tablespoons or 7.5 ounces of melted unsalted butter, gently mixing together with a rubber spatula until it has the consistency of Play-Doh. No, not the Athenian philosopher, the Hasbro product. Then we're grabbing about 2/3 of this dough and pressing it into a 9-inch removable bottom tart pan, pushing and spreading it out evenly into the corners of the sides until you've got a relatively consistent 1 centimeter thick layer all around. Trim off the top to make it look pretty, and it's time to par bake. You could also use a traditional pie plate, but it's gonna be harder to slice and retrieve. You need to be emotionally prepared for some slippage. Whatever your vessel, we're baking at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes or until.
He just said really fast, you have to be prepared for emotional slippage. That's funny.
Brown crisp and set. To the remaining third of the pie dough, we're adding 1 tablespoon each flour and sugar. This will turn the mixture rather crumbly and ideally suit it for becoming a crumble. Cover and refrigerate until ready to use. Next up, we're making our pie filling. We've got 6 large Granny Smith apples here that I'm going to peel, and then place 4 cuts around their core. This might not be the most efficient way to cut up an apple, but it's not that wasteful and it's far and away the easiest. We're then slicing those pieces into 1/4-inch slices, placing in a bowl and rinsing and repeating with the remaining apples. If they start to turn brown, go ahead and toss them with the juice of 1 lemon, but it doesn't really matter if it turns brown. It's apple pie filling. It's going to be brown. Moving those into a large bowl, and then I'm making a mixture of sugar and spice and everything nice. 1 cup of packed light brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and then I'm just going to eyeball the rest. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of ground clove, 1 teaspoon of ground allspice, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cardamom, and then if you've got whole nutmeg, well, you know what they say, once you go freshly grated nutmeg, you never go back to not freshly grating your nutmeg. Go ahead and tiny whisk that until homogeneous, and then add it to the apples, mixing and tossing by hand until everybody's evenly coated and the apples are starting to give up their juices. Speaking of juices, we're going to add.
Okay, so I feel like it's only fair that if he's going 2 times as fast, I gotta go 2 times as fast. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna tell you, that I also I get my nutmeg fresh, and it's little balls, like little nutmeg curds. It's like something that squirrels or maybe rabbits would like to either poop out or eat out. It depends on what they're doing. But I get fresh nutmeg, and I like to grind it in my coffee. Yeah, that's right, I said I like to grind it in my coffee. It's not a big problem. Fresh nutmeg is always gonna be better than powdered nutmeg, and I wish I could think a little bit faster because I wanna be able to say everything at least 2 times as fast, just so that I can mimic his style and stuff like that. Even though he's got it on a little bit of computer help, I want to do it like at least like a human being, at least as much as possible. Okay, here we go. Keep going.
And juice of 1 small lemon. If you don't want your filling to be too sharp, leave out the juice, but you gotta add the zest, trust me. And then because this filling is not gonna spend as much time in the oven as a traditional pie, we need to par cook it. Into your very largest saute pan it goes with 3 tablespoons of foaming butter. Cooking over medium heat for about 10-15 minutes until everybody's soft and sweet and thick, just like me. Put a taste for doneness and seasoning, adjust it as necessary, maybe a pinch of kosher salt if that's your thing. And then we're letting this mixture cool completely, cover it and refrigerate until ready to eat.
All right, I just want to let you know that he said that he was sweet, soft, and thick, just like him. I thought that was hysterical because if you're a person that describes yourself as sweet, soft, and thick, well then you're pretty funny, and not only that, but you're also probably a great lover. Yeah, I said it. He's a great lover. Who cares if I said that? He knows what he's doing.
Last step in the pre-pie process is our crust, which is coming out of the oven looking nice and golden brown. Which once completely cooled, we can wrap the plastic wrap and let rest at room temperature until we're ready to use it. For now, it's time to talk stuffing. You can totally buy croutons from the store. They're going to be perfectly good, and they might be flavored with things like Asiago and garlic, which makes them ideal for snacking. But you will find an unquestionable improvement in your stuffing if you make your own croutons. You can use flavorful, robust breads like sourdough. You can control their size and consistency, and you can flavor them however you like. Cube up a whole loaf of bread into these maybe half-inch size cubes. Spread them out evenly on a couple of sheet trays and place them in your oven at its lowest setting. Mine goes down to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and then dry them, tossing and rotating occasionally until they are completely dry. If you're doing this the night before, you could just leave the bread out overnight and let it stale. Next up, I think we need something green in our Thanksgiving meal. And if you have to eat something green, why not drown it in bacon fat? In this ingenious method, masterminded by our new kitchen producer, Kendall Beach. Basically, we're cutting the bottoms off and cutting in half about 2 pounds of Brussels sprouts, giving them a toss with a little bit of olive oil, kosher salt, and freshly ground pepper. Make sure that everybody's nice, evenly coated, and then spread them out on a rimmed baking sheet. Make sure that nobody's too crowded, and making sure that everybody is resting cut side down. Then here's the genius part. You guys know how I feel about roasting bacon instead of frying it. But we're gonna kill roughly 15 birds with 1 stone by laying half a pound of medium thickness bacon, not too thick, not too thin. This can be covered and refrigerated overnight, and we're gonna bake it at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20-25 minutes. It is a perfect invention, and no one can tell me otherwise. Last but not least, we need some sage sausage for our stuffing. If you cannot find sage sausage, it's easy enough to approximate. I have here a pound of ground pork, to which I'm going to add a teaspoon of kosher salt, a half teaspoon of each of garlic powder and onion powder, and a whole bunch of fresh sage, about 2 tablespoons worth finely chopped. I think the sage is kind of the genesis of where all those familiar Thanksgiving flavors come from, so do not skip our sage. Mix up, cover, and refrigerate until ready to use. And that does it for the stuff that can optionally be done ahead of time. Next up.
If you're feeling kind of pissed that you're not actually getting to hear the video and you're not really listening to anything, then I can totally understand what you're feeling, and I understand. But basically what you need to know is that you're never going to be able to repeat or do anything that he's doing as well as he's doing it. I'm just going to save you some time so that you know that. But I think that the biggest takeaway from this thing is that you got to put bacon on top of your Brussels sprouts when you put them in the oven to broil. I think that's a really great idea, and I think that he's super smart, and I learned a lot already. Have you learned anything? Probably not. Keep going.
First thing we're going to work on is our stuffing, and the first thing we need for our stuffing is mirepoix, the blessed triad of finely chopped onions, carrots, and celery. What we're doing here is a ritual known as mise en place, a very important ritual on a day as busy as Thanksgiving. The more you can chop, prep, measure, and set aside your ingredients.
Mise en place. He just said mise en place. What is mise en place? Mise en place is some French shit that basically means that you got to have your space nice and neat, and you got to have all your different things and ingredients prepared. A mise en place, a mise en scene, something like that. You want to have all your carrots and your celery and a little bit of it. Now am I doing it 2 times as fast in the French accent? This is fucking incredible. Is anybody seeing this? But the problem is you probably already tuned away. You're not even in the video anymore, and I'm just doing this for myself. Ha ha ha. So this is my life. I do it all for myself. I don't care about you. Are you listening? You're probably not even here. Put it on 2 times as fast if you want this thing to go 4 times as fast, and then we're all going to be French little fluffies. Okay, keep it going.
cook, the better. So in addition to my half medium onion, 2 small carrots, and 2 ribs of celery, I'm going to finely mince about 2 tablespoons worth of fresh sage, along with picking and chopping about a tablespoon of fresh thyme. Then we're going to head over to the stovetop. We're going to heat a tablespoon of olive oil in our biggest Dutch oven, and in it we're going to brown and mash up our homemade sort of sausage. We just want to break it down in bite-sized pieces, get some decent color on the outside. It's okay if it's still a little pink in the middle. Then we're fishing it out with a slotted spoon, setting it aside, and in the rendered pork fat, along with 2 tablespoons of butter, we're going to start sauteing our mirepoix for maybe 5 or 6 minutes until it starts to soften and pick up some color. We're also going to start to warm up 4 cups of stock in a separate saucepan. Once our vegetables are sufficiently sauteed, we're going to start adding our herbs. 1 tablespoon fresh thyme, 2 tablespoons fresh sage, and 1 crushed clove of garlic I forgot to tell you to prepare earlier. Saute these together for about 30 seconds or until fragrant, and then we're going to start deglazing the pot with a little bit of our stock. Deglazing just means adding a little bit of liquid so we can scrape up all the brown stuff off the bottom of the Dutch oven. This is where flavor resides. We're going to add our sausage back to the pot, and I'm going to add some chopped roasted chestnuts. This is very optional if you can find them. They have a very mild, sweet flavor, but mostly it's impressive to say I've got chestnuts in my stomach. Mix all that together until everybody's evenly distributed, and then we're going to start adding our prawns. We'll about half of the remaining warm stock. We want just enough to saturate the bread, so don't add it all at once. Give it a mix, see how it looks, see how it tastes. Season generously with kosher salt and freshly ground pepper, and add more stock and more croutons as necessary. Once you've got the consistency that you like it, we're covering and keeping it warm while we work on our other stuff. This guy can be reheated on the stovetop or crisped up in the oven before serving. Next up, it's time to contend with our bird, which, as you can see, has been nicely desiccated in the fridge. Now again, this is totally optional, but if you can find yourself a tub of duck fat, there's never been a better time to splurge upon it. If that's not your bag, just hit the whole bird with a light coating of olive oil. But if it is your bag, give it as generous as possible a rub down. Next up for roasting, we have some minor preparations. First, we're going to tuck the wingtips underneath the body of the bird. This is going to prevent them from burning. Next up, we have to sort of truss the legs, for which we normally need butcher's twine, but I can find mine. So in a pinch, you can actually use gauze, which is just cotton, so it's like butcher's twine in a different shape. Grab yourself a length of it, twist it into a sort of string, and tie the legs together. This is going to help expose the thighs and drumsticks to more heat and help them cook more evenly. We're giving this guy one last coat of salt and freshly ground pepper. And as for stuffing the bird, it's generally not a good idea to stuff your poultry, because whatever you shove up in there has to be brought up to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. So why not use some stuff that you're not going to eat that's going to perfume the bird from within, like a whole head of garlic cut in half and a sliced lemon. Last up, we are roughly chopping a large onion and retrieving our very largest oven-safe sauté pan, in which we're going to deposit our bird upside down. This is a popular method that protects the delicate breast meat from the heat of the oven while exposing the dark meat to the heat that it needs to become tender. We're then surrounding the bird with our chopped onion. This is going to help prevent any accumulated juices from burning or evaporating. It is then headed into a 400-degree Fahrenheit oven for about 1 hour. About halfway through, we're going to take it out and flip it. This way the breast meat can finish cooking and the skin on top can be browned and crisped up. During its last half hour of cooking, we're going to add the Brussels sprouts and bacon to the oven and prepare our final side dish, some outrageously creamy mashed potatoes. Now, I recently did a basic episode of mashed potatoes. Click the link in the upper right-hand corner right now if you want to see how to make all different kinds of styles. But what follows is a super simple, ultra-rich version. Here I have roughly 2 or 3 pounds of Yukon Golds that I'm peeling, cutting into 1-inch cubes, placing into a large stock pot or high-walled sauté pan like this one, and covering with cold water. We're then going to heavily salt this water and bring the whole thing up to the boil. Once the boil is reached, we're going to cook for 15 to 20 minutes until the potatoes are completely tender and can be broken in half without effort when pierced with a piercing object. Go ahead and drain these and return them to the hot pan, where we're going to place them over very low heat and mix them to help drive off any excess moisture. Now we're going to be adding a whole stick or half a cup of unsalted butter to these potatoes, so we're going to melt about 3 tablespoons worth in a separate pan and crush in 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, allowing them to cook for 30 seconds to 1 minute until nice and fragrant. Once that's done, we're killing the heat under everything and adding the remaining butter, 1 cup of room temperature heavy cream, and our sauteed garlic and butter mixture to the potatoes. And with that, we're ready to commence the mashing. Just mash them up and mix them around until everybody's smooth, taking care not to overmash. Season heavily with kosher salt, mix it in, and like everything else we're doing today, we're tasting for seasoning. We want to make sure that everything has enough salt and or pepper before it ends up on the table. For now, we're cover these up and keep them warm because our chicken is headed out the oven. First things first, we're taking the bird out of the pan and setting it aside to rest for at least 15 minutes before carving and serving. Do not cover him with foil, you will ruin his nice crispy skin. Then we are straining the contents of the pan, which is going to be mostly fat, but we are taking care to leave all that beautiful brown stuff in the bottom of the pot. Set that aside because before we finish up our main courses, we need to prep our desserts. Simply pour the apple filling with the tart shell, top of our crumble, load the oven to 350, and pop it in for 25 to 30 minutes or until golden brown. Meanwhile, over on the stovetop, we're building our pan gravy. Make sure you wrap the handle of the pan with a towel, you don't want to burn your fingies. And to the pan, we're adding 2 tablespoons of butter with which we're going to build a roux. Then adding 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, whisking to combine, and also adding about a 1/4 cup of our accumulated duck and chicken fat. This is going to make for an extraordinarily flavorful gravy, as is our amped up stock. This constantly as we slowly add about 2 cups of stock to this mixture, both scraping up all the beautiful brown stuff on the bottom of the pot and preventing any lumps from forming. Just add a little bit at a time, whisking until smooth before adding any more. You might not want to add all the stock if you want a thicker gravy. Once you've added enough to suit your tastes, we're going to cook it over medium heat for about 5 minutes, then season generously with salt and pepper, making any necessary final adjustments to flavor and or consistency, and set aside our dream gravy for serving. We're on the home stretch now, just a couple more to dos. First off, our Brussels sprouts are headed out the oven. They are nicely browned, the bacon's nice and crisp. Place the Brussels sprouts into your serving bowl, chop up the bacon, and top. Simple as that for the best Brussels sprouts I've ever had in my life. Next up, we can optionally carve the chicken before serving, which is easier than it sounds. It's much easier than doing it at the table. If you want to see in detail how to do this, click the link in the upper right-hand corner right now. But basically, we're just removing the breasts, slicing them up, and serving them alongside the drums and thighs. Only one final step, finding the right serving vessel for stuffing, and plating everybody up nice and pretty. And there you have it, the simple, entirely from scratch Thanksgiving dinner. Totally doable in about 4 hours, about 2 hours of which can be done ahead of time. The chicken is moist and juicy with lovely crisp skin. The gravy is absolutely the best gravy I've ever had in my life. The potatoes are rich and creamy. The stuffing tastes exactly how you hope stuffing tastes. The cranberry sauce is sweet and tart, and the Brussels sprouts are more bacon than they are Brussels sprouts. Real quick, I just want to say thank you to the sponsor of today's episode, YouTube Movies and Shows. It's no mystery that I love a good show/movie. I literally built my career on it. Thanks to the service from YouTube, I can now search for and purchase basically any show or movie in the same place where all my content resides. They're even free ad-supported movies in the US if you're afraid of commitment. So after watching an episode of binging, head back and search to find a corresponding film to see how well I did, or find a classic holiday movie to get you in the spirit. You can check out the available movies and shows right now at youtube.com/movies. Thank you to YouTube Movies and Shows for sponsoring this video. Oops, I almost forgot the apple pie. It is best eaten after cooling about 30 minutes, and I gotta say this apple pie kind of reminds me of this year's Thanksgiving. It's not the one that we're used to, but that doesn't mean it has to be any less delicious or warm or comforting. And let's look on the bright side. It's a hell of a lot easier.
Wow, thank you very much, Cooking with Babish. I really enjoyed your video. In fact, I really prefer if life would go at this pace. I actually think that I operate at this pace, and I think that it's really great if that you were doing this at the 2 times speed, and I was able to understand pretty much everything that you said. I'm not sure if that you understood everything that he said, but I was able to understand everything that he said because I kind of go at this speed. Anyway, what I learned from this is how to make an entire Thanksgiving dinner. I like the idea of doing the chicken instead of the turkey. I think that turkey is kind of a strange thing, and it's way too big, and nobody knows how to do it well. I also think that the way that he did the Brussels sprouts was pretty amazing. He got the bacon, he put it right on there, and he just did it in the oven, and then it came out, and it was voila, ready to go. I also really liked how we did the roux. Roux are very hard to do. You got to use flour. You got to be turning them the whole time, and you got to do that with egg and different things, and use duck fat. I thought that was very clever as well. Okay, if you have never been to this channel, thank you for coming to this channel. Please like, comment, subscribe. I never really do this in 2 times as fast, but I'm a human being doing this 2 times as fast. So if you like what I'm doing and you think that this is kind of exciting, this is just one day where I'm doing things 2 times as fast, because I already made a Dude Perfect video that was taken down because of copyright claims, so I have to do this again to make sure that I'm doing a video every day and that it's coming out at the same time every day. Please like, comment, subscribe to this channel when you can, if you can. If you like me, I'm a comedian. I like to do stand-up comedy and make people laugh. When people are laughing, they're not suffering. If they're suffering, they're not laughing. I want to make more people laugh. So please help me out by liking, commenting, subscribing to this channel. Thank you so much for being here. This is the fastest time I've ever done a reaction or spoken or thought to myself in the same amount of time. I like to skateboard, so I go really fast in life, so this makes a lot of sense for me to listen to things fast in life. Hopefully you're able to retain all of this. If you're not able to retain any of it, that's fine. Stick around or click into another video or click into some of my comedy sketches. Thank you so much for coming to the show. I really appreciate you. Remember, when life feels like it's not going to get any better, just know it always gets better. Stay good. Ben Force out. Yeah! And now the time when I got to turn it off because this is kind of awkward, but it's not really awkward. Now let's slow things down.